Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Is this any better? Little better? Come on up front. This isn't, it kind of feels a little bit like church when I have to do that. Oh, it's absolutely inspiring to see so many today. We have so many community members, employees, friends of the bank, Ashland County customers. We're just thrilled to have you. Welcome. We hope that the next few minutes that you spend here with us will be enlightening. My name is Mark Masters. I serve as the president of Mechanics Bank. And at my right is Jason Painley, who's our executive vice president and chief financial officer. And I can't tell you how thrilled we are to be here today. We have many honored guests, and Jason's going to take a moment and introduce some of them.
Thank you. I'm getting some indications from the audience that this isn't loud enough. Usually people are telling me to turn myself down, so this is contrary to what I'm used to. I think I've got this turned up as far as it'll go, so I will do my best to speak loudly. But good afternoon. We are grateful that all of you have joined us for this exciting occasion today. Today marks a proud moment in Mechanics Bank's service to the city and county of Ashland. We'd like to take a moment to welcome our special guests and offer a few acknowledgments. We welcome the mayor of the city of Ashland, Mr. Matt Miller. Thank you for joining us here. We welcome Amy Dobbins-Beck, president of the Ashland Area Chamber of Commerce. Amy is here. All right. Thank you, Amy. And our state of Ohio representative, Ms. Melanie Miller. Thank you, Melanie. We'd like to recognize the Mechanics Bank Board of Directors. We thank them for their support, which enables us to celebrate this wonderful occasion today. Thank you to our board. We have many of our Mechanics Bank team members here today who will continue to bring their genuine dedication to the communities here in Ashland. And we are grateful to be joined by some of our Ashland County customers of Mechanics Bank, and also to be joined, grateful to be joined by several members of the community. And I also understand that we have Mish Ashland or Ashley Canfield somewhere out in the audience. So thank you. We look forward to continuing to serve you, serving your communities, and supporting the great things happening here in Ashland. We'd like to acknowledge and thank Dan Seckel with the Seckel Group. Dan, where are you at? There you are, Dan. Dan has been Dan has been our longstanding friend and architect. Dan's modern and innovative work skillfully honors history and our culture. We appreciate, Dan, your way of working. I'll just shout louder. Dan, we appreciate your way of working. We appreciate your friendship. Absolutely. And we are very delighted to announce that Ashland's own Simonson Construction will be our general contractor for this project. Simonson does admirable work in admirable ways and is an important part of this community. And at Mechanics, that's something we relate to. And even in our short tenure of getting to know the team at Simonson, we are already appreciating the relationship and their expertise. Vince is here somewhere. I met him earlier. Vince, thank you. We are very much looking forward to working with you and your team. Thank you. Can we all welcome our guests and everyone here with a round of applause? And I'm going to turn it back over to our President and CEO, Mr. Mark Masters.
Thank you, Jason. Mayor Miller has so graciously agreed to make a few comments today, and we welcome him to the podium.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, first of all, let me tell you that it is a wonderful thing to see so many important, powerful, and influential Mansfield and Richland County leaders right here in the great city of Ashland. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here and for investing in our great community, because we are proud of what's happening in the great city of Ashland. And I have to tell you, right now, there are a lot of people that probably still have presidential politics on your mind. And with that, let's pay tribute to a former president. President Ronald Reagan told the story that one day he was sitting in a classroom of first graders. He spoke to them, and then he opened it up for questions. They were scared to ask a question, so he finally said, "What do you like most about America?" And as you might imagine, slowly the hands went up and he got all kinds of answers. We're free, we like freedom. We have a great country where everyone's equal, all the answers you'd expect. Well, then one little boy, he scooted right up front there on the small carpet he was sitting on, and he said, "The reason I like America is because we have so many different flavors of ice cream." And you know, even though he was just a little first grader, the truth is, one of the reasons we like America is because we have so many choices. We have so many choices when it comes to choosing a contractor, but I think you chose a great one. Simonson Construction, you drive up and down the streets of the city of Ashland and Ashland County, and the truth is the best looking buildings, the most quality buildings were always built by Simonson Construction. So you chose a great contractor for your project. But we, America, we love choices. We love choices, whether that's choosing a flavor of ice cream or our favorite pizza or restaurant or our favorite bank. And one of the things that I personally like so much about Mechanics Bank is that it is, for all intents and purposes, a locally based bank. And you know, in a world where everything seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger and less personal, it's great to have small businesses in our community that still have that very personal and local touch. And that's why we're so excited for this project to be here. Now, the truth is, you often hear it said at groundbreakings that small business, it's the backbone of our local economy. Well, the reality is, if small business is the backbone of our local economy, the truth is, our banks are the backbone of our financial system. Without our banks, we wouldn't have the money to lend to grow those businesses here in our backyard. So we're very honored to have Mechanics choose to be here in our great city. Incidentally, as I'm driving over here, I'm thinking to myself, I remember when I used to mow the lawn of Harry R. Gill II. Harry R. Gill II owned National Latex Products Company. At the time he was the chairman of the board, the company, based right here in Ashland, produced more balloons than any other company in the great United States. In fact, their semis had the tagline, "We supply the balloons to America." And I would, as I was taking him to work in the morning in his Rolls Royce, he would talk to me about a variety of things, and two things I remember. I don't know how technical these are, but they're very wise, I think, if you start thinking about it. He said, "Matt, you know the way you can tell if the economy's going well?" And I said, "No, Mr. Gill, how?" And he said, "When you drive up and down the interstate, start counting the trucks." He said, "I always count the semi-tractor trailers going up and down the highway. If you've got a lot of trucks out there, that means the economy's going well." And he said, "You know how you can tell if a local community is successful?" And no, how can you tell how a local community is successful? He says, "Take a look at how many banks they have in the community." Because he said, if they've got a lot of banks, that means there's a lot of wealth in that community. Maybe it's not flaunted, but it's capital and it's here to be used. And you know, I'm glad we're adding another bank in the great city of Ashland. And you could not come at a better time, because I am not exaggerating when I tell you that in this week, every single business day of this week leading up today, and we've got a meeting with one tomorrow, an outside developer has been working with me on bringing a housing project here, an apartment project, or a new business to the industrial park. People are waking up to the fact that Ashland's a great place to do business. It's a great place to have a bank. And you couldn't arrive at a better time, because we're confident that just over the hill, you're going to see a great number of new customers move into this community. Not that you don't have a lot of Ashland customers already, because I will tell you, when the announcement came that you were going to be here, I would continually hear from folks that they were so excited. They were so excited because they're already your customer in nearby Richland County. That's more than I usually say at a groundmaking, but nonetheless, I want to thank you for your investment here, and I really do want to thank all of you from Richland County for taking the time to be here on this big day. We're excited to have you.
What a gracious group of comments to make. We appreciate Mayor Miller so much. His welcome. When I met Mayor Miller for the first time, I told him a little story about my daughter. They were in the Ashbrook program at the same time at Ashland University. And she was a freshman, he was a few years older. And after a few weeks at the university, she came home for dinner and said, "Dad, I think I met the future governor of the state of Ohio." And his name was Matt Miller. He gave a speech and we were just in awe. So I think you can understand why. Thank you, Mayor Miller. Just one more anecdote. 2 days on the job, my first banking job. I looked out the window of the bank. It wasn't Mechanics Bank, unfortunately, but it was a bank nevertheless in Mansfield. A Rolls Royce pulled up, first one I'd ever seen in person. And this very stately gentleman got out, walked into the bank, and everyone whispered, "That's Mr. Gill. He makes balloons." And speaking of being in awe, he was a gentleman's gentleman, and a wonderful legacy here in the city of Ashland. So thank you again, Mayor Miller. We'd also like to welcome Amy Dobbinspec to the podium. She has a few remarks to make.
I'll try to do this. Thank you, Mark. I just wanted to, I have a little anecdotal information as well. So it wasn't too terribly long ago that I graduated from Ashland University, but my first job out of college was over in Mansfield for an advertising and marketing agency. And it just so happened to be that one of my main clients was Mechanics Savings Bank. And my contact obviously was Tom Ross, who is here today. Tom, wave to everybody. He doesn't want to wave. But it's amazing to me that, kid fresh out of college, first job, I never anticipated, number one, that I would be a Chamber of Commerce president, but number two, that I won't say how many years later, but how many years later I would be standing right here welcoming Mechanics Savings Bank to my community. And so I think that is really awesome. And I'm so glad that Tom is here to be part of this today. He's still on their board of directors. So thank you, Tom, for being one of my mentors so long ago. I also want to talk about how the first meeting that we had with Mark and with Christy and Kelsey last week was kind of unprecedented, because we sat down with them to talk about what can the Ashland Chamber do for them, and the first question they asked us was, what can we do for you? And I think Emily and I were both kind of at a loss for words, because that's not usually how those types of meetings go. And so we already know, sitting here today, that Mechanics Savings Bank is going to be a huge player in our community, and for all the wonderful reasons that we already know exist within their organization. So I thank you for that, and I thank you for being part of our community and investing in the Ashland communities. So thank you very much. Now, normally for a groundbreaking, we have a commemorative fancy shovel that we like to give, but because this came together awfully quickly, the shipping did not happen. So we will be giving that to you later, but I do have a certificate that I'd like to present today. Thanks.
Thank you, Amy. We appreciate your kind comments. Loved your story. I'd like to make a few remarks, if you'll bear with me. Appreciate your patience. We are immensely grateful for the loyalty and trust of our Ashland customers. You know, we have served Ashland County for as long as anyone at the bank can remember. We have hundreds and hundreds of mortgage loans that we've made to Ashland County residents. And over the years, repeatedly, they've asked us, come a little closer, be part of our community. And we're glad to say that we soon will be. But we thank them for all they've done to help us remain successful. Mechanics has a long-standing tradition of making mortgage loans, but there's more services than I can mention today that we offer as well. And we look forward to strengthening the existing relationships we have with Ashland County customers, but also welcoming new customers to experience our signature level of services. Well, we look forward to opening our office. You know, we've been chomping at the bit to get this done, but it takes time and we do things the right way. So we expect an opening sometime probably late in the third quarter or the fourth quarter of 2025. No pressure, Mr. Simonson's employees. We look forward to that opening later in the year, of course, of 2025. Now, if you look at the pictures on the sign behind us, you can tell that this bank will be a two-story building. We think that it represents well our company and its strength and stability, but also our significant commitment to this community. It's going to sit on this lot and face diagonally toward the stoplight, so it will be very prominent and visible from Route 250. And we hope that you all come visit us when the doors open. In addition to typical banking services, which we will offer through our lobby and through our drive-through and with ATMs, we also hope at some time in the future to locate some of our professional specific bankers here, like a mortgage and consumer loan officer, and then someone who offers investments and counsel on financial services. And then also, last but not least, business banking, so that we can interact with Ashland businesses as one of your community. So we look forward to that. This building will also have a significant community space where small groups of community members are able to have meetings. If they so choose, we would welcome them to do so. Well, you might ask, well, why in the world another bank? Well, Mayor Matt Miller gave us some indication that it's a great time to open our doors here in Ashland County. But I'd like to give you a perspective about why we think Mechanics is not just another bank. After almost 139 years of business, serving customers as a financial resource, but also as a resource in general, we remain a privately owned, independent financial institution. And we are incredibly grateful to our board of directors and a loyal group of shareholders for allowing us to remain an independently owned bank. Our independence, why is that important? It empowers us to make decisions locally. And that's important because with local decision makers, we make the decisions, well, good or bad, because we still make mistakes, good or bad, we take responsibility for them, but we believe that it allows us to make the decisions closest to customers, to remain nimble and ride the waves of change in the business communities and the communities in which we serve. And I can't say any more powerful words than being an independent bank means great things for our customers. Our goal simply would be, after we open, to prove it. To prove that we're not just another bank. We don't ask you to take us at our word. We don't ask you to trust us without experience. We're going to set out to prove that we're not just another bank. But in my mind, I hope that eventually you won't even think of us as a bank, that you'll think of us as a community resource where you can come to meet people who care about you, who will help answer your questions, and for many, help them achieve their dreams. At Mechanics, we often say it's all about people. Our people approach is about more than banking. It's about seeing things through our customers' eyes. It's about investing in the communities we serve and playing an active role in their future. You'll find our team volunteering, supporting local initiatives, and engaging in meaningful ways that contribute to Ashland's growth and well-being, and we're excited to do so. We sincerely appreciate the warm welcome from Ashland city and county officials, of course the citizens alike. Ashland's future is clearly bright. Built on a rich heritage as a manufacturing hub, home to a renowned research facility, and a highly regarded Ashland University, with the availability of state-of-the-art healthcare facility, there is so many good things happening in this fair city, and we look forward to serving it. In addition, we love what's going on with the initiatives, the growth along Route 250, where we'll find our home here on George Road, but we're also very impressed by the renovation efforts and the rehabilitation of many properties in downtown Ashland, giving it new life and vitality. We think that this momentum speaks volumes about the community's leadership and the momentum that will take it into the future. This community certainly demonstrates a wonderfully positive, can-do spirit. Finally, as my remarks are concluding, I'd like to demonstrate our commitment to Ashland by making a gesture of goodwill, a gift, if you could say it that way, a contribution to this year's Ashland County United Way campaign in the amount of $10,000. We hope that it continues to send a positive message and also to do great things through the agencies of the United Way to the citizens of Ashland County. Once again, we're so thankful that you're here, and if we can help in any way, please let us know. Before we don our hard hats, I'd like to make an introduction of two important people that will become part of your community. Nikki and Holly, would you come forward, please? Nikki will be our new branch manager, and Holly Jones will be the assistant manager. And I'm surprising them with this introduction, but I'd like each of them to say hi to you.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to Mechanics for entrusting this to Holly and I to make a good impact in the community. We are very honored and privileged to be here and to serve Ashland, the city, and the county. And we just look forward to all the opportunity that we will have in the future.
Just, I'm so honored and so excited to be here. So excited for this beginning.
Thank you. So let's get on with things. We know all of you have busy schedules. We'd like our board of directors to come forward. We have hard hats for you and these ceremonial shovels, and we'll break the ground. Please come up. If we could gather together, they'd like a photo of us smiling.